So I know I've talked a lot about this on this channel, but I really believe the Democrat Party is dying. I know that seems kind of insane to say because even in 2024, where they lost all the swing states, they still got a decent chunk of the vote. In fact, they got like 47%. So on paper, this seems kind of crazy to say that, oh, the Democrat Party, they're a dying party, they're losing support, it's all over for them. And I want to be clear about one thing. I'm not saying it's a guarantee that this party dies exactly on January 6th of 2029. I'm not saying that. But I do believe if the Democrat Party doesn't change, and I mean change quickly and in a completely different direction, I believe this party is going to die. I really believe it. I know that sounds crazy because back in 2024, yeah, they did pretty bad. They lost all the swing states. They lost the Senate. They lost the House. But you could argue that, well, at least Harris got like 48% of the vote or whatever it was. So you could argue, well, that's not that bad. But the problem for the Democrat Party is it seems like every single day, their numbers keep going down and down and down. Every day, and not just one metric. Basically, every metric you could look at, it really seems like this party is just dying. Like, you can look at basically anything. Voter registration, the polling, anything. And it's all showing the same trend. This party keeps going down and down and down. And for those that are saying, well, you're exaggerating it. The Democrat Party's actually in a really good situation. There are no problems here. Their approval's not collapsing. That's not true. In fact, just a couple weeks ago in early April, right in the middle of the trade war, which theoretically should have been a big boost for the Democrat Party, that poll found the Democrat Party at only 29% approve and 62% disapprove. Yeah. That's from early April. That's when the Democrat Party was claiming they were surging. Everyone loved them now. Yet, even in the middle of the trade war, the Democrat Party had a negative 33% approval from UMass. And CNN a couple months ago, they found the Democrat favorability at just 29%. Yeah. Only 29% of Americans had a favorable rating of the Democrat Party, which is a record low. So yeah, the Democrat Party, it's a disaster. This party is an utter joke. But the scary part for Democrats is these polls weren't even the biggest disaster. Yeah, the 29% approval, that was actually not the worst poll for them. As in the middle of March, Quinnipiac released a brand new poll, right, in the middle of March that found the Democrats had an approval rating of just 21%.
How about this one? Holy Toledo. Voters' views of the Democrats in Congress among all voters disapprove 68%. And look at the approved number, just 21%, even lower than the Democratic Party at large. This is the lowest on record for Democrats, according to Quinnipiac University.
Yeah. The Democrat Party in the middle of March, according to Quinnipiac, which is a more Democrat pollster, had a 21% approval rating. That is awful. In fact, the same poll showed that only 40% of Democrats approved of the Democrat Party. So that basically means no independents like the party whatsoever. The only people that like the party are just partisan Dems. Yeah. This is the state of the Democrat Party in 2025. And I don't know how Democrats recover from this. They're not helping themselves whatsoever. But let's start with the fact that the voters that hate their guts within their own party, it's not because they think, oh, the Democrat Party is too progressive, which some of it is. Democrats realizing, okay, this party's batshit crazy. They've gone way too far to the left. We got to be more moderate. The problem is, only like 10% of Democrats want the party to be more moderate. That's it. Not 20, not 30, not even 40%. No, it's like 10% of Democrats that are saying the party is too radical. It's got to be more moderate. The rest, they either think, oh, the party's progressive enough, or there are some that really believe the party is too conservative. That's a real thing. There are a bunch of Democrats that really believe the party is too progressive or too moderate, and they got to be even more progressive, which is insane. I mean, are you serious? This party, they're radical on basically every single issue. Abortion, immigration, everything. Everything you can think of, they are radicals on. And it's mostly because whatever Trump does, they do the complete opposite. So that's a big reason why Democrats right now, their approval sucks. I mean, are you wondering why Democrats are so hated? It's as if they're not trying to appease the moderates. No, they're trying to appease the radicals. Yet it's never enough for these people. But that's just part of it. That's part of why I think Democrats are in big trouble. I would argue the number one reason why Democrats are losing, it's because they're out of touch. They are completely out of touch with reality. Listen, I have no clue what these people are thinking, but they don't live on Earth. Like, half these people at the Democrat Party, they live on, like, freaking Pluto. There's, like, one or two Democrats that realized, oh, crap, we've gone way too far. We got to be more moderate. We got to understand that the average voter, they don't like us. Well, that's not the average Democrat. In fact, the average Democrat is out of touch with reality. They have no clue what's going on. They're insane. And a good example is Bernie Sanders, which I can't believe this guy's lost it. Like, I used to like Bernie. I thought he was one of the few Democrats that understood why Democrats are losing, but now he's lost it completely. Just a couple days ago, he went on Fox News for whatever reason, and he was asked, hey, Bernie, you want to stop the oligarchy and you want to save the environment, yet you're flying around in a private jet and you're going to, like, 5 different cities. And he was asked, isn't that hypocritical? Which, that's a valid point. It's like, wait, you don't want anybody else flying on planes. You don't want anyone using cars because of the environment, and you're supposedly fighting the oligarchy. But at the same time, you're flying around in a private jet. Well, what's going on here? And Bernie Sanders gave one of the most out-of-touch statements I've ever heard. He really said, oh, no, I don't want to wait a line at United. I want to go on my own plane and fly around because I have to. That's what he said. That's real. He actually said that. And you wonder why Democrats are losing. Because people look at this and say to themselves, what the hell is going on here? The Democrat Party, they're so delusional, they're so deranged, that they really believe that this is good messaging. And the thing is, it's not just one Democrat that said this. I mean, you have Andrew Yang going around, which again, Andrew Yang's another Democrat that used to get it. He understood that this party has died. They got to be more moderate, more working class. You know, he was one of the few Democrats that kind of got it. But he decided to defend him. He defended Bernie Sanders. He said Bernie Sanders is 83 and had to be in multiple states in the same day. In that situation, you fly private. Yeah, this is real. You have Andrew Yang going around and defending Bernie and saying, oh, he had to be in multiple states. That's why he had to fly private. For starters, no, he did not have to be in these states. He decided to go to these states for whatever reason, a campaign or something. But even then, just say, okay, whatever, that's one thing. If you have to be in several states, that's one thing. But to say that you have to fly private, the average person will never fly private in their life. Never. And you're making it sound like, oh, you have to fly private if you're going to multiple states. That's insane. And you wonder why Democrats have such a low approval. I mean, they're so delusional. I mean, Chuck Schumer a couple days ago, he was saying, oh, Trump's approval is collapsing. You know, the polling has him going down by 80 points or whatever. And he was asked by a reporter, what about your approval? You're like 21% approval. And he immediately said, the polling is fake.
Americans are noticing. The polls this week show Trump has the lowest 100-day approval rating since they started polling 80 years ago, the lowest. Even worse, 72% of Americans think it's likely that Trump's handling of the economy will walk us directly into a recession. People who hate what Trump is proposing. Yes.
There was a poll out today that has your approval rating is lower than any other congressional leader at 17%. Are you concerned that you may be a liability for your party?
Polls come and go. Our party is united. We're on our front foot. We're stepping forward and going after Trump and having real success. Yes.
I mean, this is the state of the Democrat Party. They have no clue what they're talking about. They're out of touch, and the messaging is just awful. I don't get what this party's trying to do. And they wonder why they're at a 21% approval. It's as if people don't like what they're pushing. It's as if the average American is realizing this party's batshit crazy. They may not like the GOP. A lot of them don't. But they're not going to vote Democrat. They're just not going to. Because they're realizing that this party, they're out of touch. They're delusional. And they're radicals. These people are actually insane. They should be nowhere near the White House. And that's why they're in such a bad situation. But they don't get that. I just don't understand it. You lose 2024 by a lot. And the current polling is indicating you could be utterly screwed come 2028. Yet, you're going to pretend nothing is wrong and you're going to double down and say everything is racism? That's your plan? Gee, I wonder why Democrats are losing. This strategy is stupid. I don't get what they're trying to accomplish, but this is the Democrat Party, everybody. This party is so out of touch that they have no clue what they're doing. And I don't know how they recover. I really don't. I mean, if you're going around saying, oh, you have to fly private if you're going to multiple states, you're not going to fix that. You just can't. But this is the state of the Democrat Party in 2025. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, join the channel today. Godspeed to all of you.